You know that feeling you get deep in a comment thread or maybe a family argument? That primal urge to just win, to completely demolish the other person's point of view. Yeah, this word. This is what it's all about now, isn't it? We are absolutely obsessed with this idea. I mean, just scroll through any social media feed. Nobody's there to have a nice little chat. They're there to destroy someone with facts and logic. It's kind of become our new favorite sport. And that's really the heart of the problem, right? We've started treating every single disagreement like it's all-out war. It doesn't matter if it's with a stranger online or, your uncle at a holiday dinner. The goal isn't to learn or to connect, it's to humiliate. It's to get that win, to make the other person feel small. But let's just be real with ourselves for a second. When has that ever actually worked? Seriously, think about it. When was the last time you managed to change someone's deeply held belief by just trying to crush them? All it does, and you know this is true, is make them dig their heels in even more. You don't want to convert, you just create resentment. So this whole destroy culture we've built, let's call it what it is. It isn't a debate. It's not logic. It's just noise. We're basically just standing on opposite sides of a giant canyon, just shouting our opinions into the void. And the craziest part? This isn't new. This isn't some problem the internet created. Humans have been doing this for centuries. And it always ends up in the same place, with more anger, more ignorance, and zero progress. Okay, so what's the solution? Well, to find it, we actually have to hit pause on all this modern chaos and rewind way back. Picture this. It's India about 2,000 years ago. There's this incredibly wise sage, Akshapada Gautama, and he's looking around, seeing the exact same thing we see, people just tearing each other apart with words. And he realized that these bad arguments were a root cause of real human suffering. So he did something about it. He created a system, a school of thought called the Nyaya school of logic. And its central goal was, well, it was completely revolutionary. And this right here, this contrast is everything. Our goal today? To win, often by making the other person look bad. The Nyaya goal? To find the truth together. It's a total 180. It changes the entire game from me versus you to us versus the problem. It's not a fight. It's a joint investigation. Okay, so that sounds great, but how do you actually do it? Well, the Nyaya school gave us this incredibly simple but powerful 5-step framework. The best way to think about it is like building a bridge that can get two people from totally different places to the exact same point of understanding. It's basically a 5-step argument. Let's use the classic example they always used. Okay, step 1, you make your claim. There is fire on that hill over there. Simple. Step 2, you give your reason. Because I can see smoke. Now this is where we almost always go wrong. Most of us would stop right there and just start arguing. But the Nyaya system says, whoa, hold on, you haven't proven anything yet. You need step 3, the critical step, the example. Wherever there's smoke, there's fire, like, for example, in a kitchen. Then step 4 is the application. See, that hill has smoke just like the kitchen does. And only then can you get to step 5, your conclusion. Therefore, there must be fire on the hill. Okay, I really want you to focus here, because what I'm about to say is the entire secrets. The magic that makes this whole thing work, the part that could literally fix our broken way of talking to each other. It's all hiding in step 3. Here it is, that example in step 3, the like in a kitchen part. It has to be a piece of common ground. It has to be a truth that both of you already agree on before you can even continue. Think about it. If I use the kitchen example and you say, what's a kitchen? Or, my kitchen's electric, it doesn't have smoke, then the argument just stops, dead in its tracks. We literally cannot move forward until we find a shared example that we both can nod our heads to. This idea of finding the shared kitchen first, this is the whole key. It's the one ingredient that's missing from pretty much every single argument we get into today. We skip this step every single time. We go straight from our reason to our conclusion, completely jumping over the most important part, the part where we actually build a bridge of common ground. It's like trying to build a house by starting with the roof. It just doesn't work. And what happens when we do that? Well, you get this. One person is yelling freedom, the other person is yelling safety. They're just screaming their conclusions at each other because they haven't bothered to find a shared kitchen, a shared understanding of what those big ideas even mean in this specific context. It's just pointless noise. Think about an argument over remote work. One side says, we need people in the office for the culture. The other says, we need flexibility for our well-being. The shared kitchen isn't the office or the home. It's the goal you both agree on first. Something like, okay, we can both agree that our number one priority is a happy, productive team, right? Yes, that's the kitchen. Now, and only now, can you actually start talking about the best way to make that happen. You know, the Nyaya philosophers were so tuned into this difference that they actually had specific names for the different kinds of arguments you could have. So a good faith debate, one where everyone's genuinely trying to find the truth together, they called that Vada. That's the ideal. But the other kind, the kind where you're just arguing to win, to show off, to trick or destroy your opponent, they had a name for that too, Vitanda. And they basically called it mental poison. It's not a search for truth, it's just your ego going for a walk. And this is maybe the biggest takeaway from all of this. The second you walk into a conversation with the goal of winning, you've actually already lost. You've lost the chance to learn something new. You've stopped searching for truth and you've started just defending your ego. So how does this actually help you in a heated moment when you feel your blood pressure rising? It's simple. You force yourself to find the shared kitchen. You make yourself pause and ask, okay, hang on a second. What's the one thing here that we both already agree on? That little pause, that's where the magic happens. It gives the anger a second to cool down and gives your brain a chance to actually start thinking again. That one question changes everything. So what's the bottom line here? I think it's that we've kind of forgotten how to think together. We're all so busy, so desperate to be right as individuals. But this ancient logic reminds us that finding the truth isn't a solo mission. It's a team sport. And you're never going to win by trying to tackle your own teammates. So the next time you find yourself in a disagreement and you feel that heat rising in your chest, just stop for a second and ask yourself this one simple question. Are you trying to build a bridge to the truth, or are you just trying to burn the other person down?
Subscribe for daily wisdom.